This united front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just we had a very
that really needed to be mentioned.
That was ridiculous. That was childish. And Sabrina had to let it be known. I don't really think that was necessary. She tried to laugh it off, but Sabrina's not feeling you saying it.
What happens when a single moment, a poorly timed comment, and an eye roll shatter the fragile image of unity the WNBA tries so hard to project? One press conference during the 2025 All-Star Weekend did exactly that. It started like any other media session. A bit of laughter, a few light questions, some hype about the game. But then, Kelsey Plum made a remark that instantly sucked all the air out of the room. A quiet storm of tension had been brewing behind the scenes, and her words blew it wide open.
Now, Sabrina Ionescu quickly, swiftly, and in a hurry, kind of tried to stop Kelsey Plum from taking these little shots, but she didn't care.
Without warning, the spotlight shifted from celebration to controversy, from sisterhood to subtle sabotage. And sitting just inches away, Sabrina Ionescu's silent response would become more iconic than anything said aloud. This isn't just a story about a press conference, it's about the unspoken battle lines inside the WNBA, and how Caitlin Clark, without even being present, became the focal point of a war she didn't ask for.
Y'all need media training, bro. Like, I hate to say, y'all really need media training. This was so unnecessary. And then you gonna take shots after that trash game y'all displayed?
The 2025 All-Star Weekend should have been a celebration of unity and empowerment, but one sentence from Kelsey Plum flipped everything upside down. During a routine media Q&A, Plum casually dropped a statement about how not a single member of Team Caitlin Clark showed up to the players-only meeting where the now viral "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts were discussed. It wasn't just the words, it was the tone, the timing, and the complete disregard for what that moment was supposed to represent. Sitting right beside her, Sabrina Ionescu's reaction said it all. Raised brows, a sharp eye roll, and the kind of awkward silence that fills a room when someone crosses a line. It was a moment that turned a simple comment into a PR disaster. In just seconds, the narrative changed from league solidarity to internal division, and the person at the center of it all wasn't even in the room.
You said you wanted to look united, right? You wanted to make it look like y'all all were on one accord. You wanted to make it look like the advocacy was there between you all. And you come out and say 0 members of Team Caitlin Clark was there. How do you think that make y'all look now?
Sabrina Ionescu didn't need to say much. Her expression did all the talking. The second Plum finished her remark, Sabrina let out a sarcastic, "That really needed to be mentioned," and then followed it up with the now viral eye roll that fans and analysts say might be the most honest reaction we've ever seen in a press conference.
She joined you guys to stand as a one united front, and then you go and take shots at her when she's responsible for more than 55% of the business? Are you crazy? Have you lost your damn mind?
It wasn't just shade. It was a clear rejection of the petty direction the conversation was taking. Sabrina, a former Team Clark player herself, seemed almost embarrassed to be sitting next to someone who would derail such an important moment with personal digs. And fans noticed. The clip exploded across social media, not because of drama, but because Sabrina, with just one look, showed more leadership and maturity than the comment that preceded it.
Them relying so heavily on Caitlin Clark, one player, to generate their money, it's going to take some time, man, to get y'all those $200, $300 million contracts, bro. It just is. This isn't like a one and done thing that's going to take, a year or two. Y'all got to show proven years of winning. And the way y'all attacking Caitlin Clark, beating her up, battering her, I don't know what the future even look like for y'all with viewership and entertainment.
The irony is hard to miss. That morning, WNBA players had come together in a rare show of unity to organize a powerful demonstration, wearing shirts demanding better pay and respect. It was supposed to be a moment of solidarity, a reminder that these athletes stood shoulder to shoulder in their fight for equality. But just hours later, Plum's remark fractured that narrative. By calling out Team Clark for their absence from the meeting, she didn't just throw her peers under the bus, she put the entire movement at risk. Fans who were inspired by the shirts now questioned if the unity was ever real. How can you demand to be treated as one when you're dividing yourselves in public? What should have been a moment of empowerment instead became a showcase of internal strife, and Sabrina's discomfort was a clear signal that not everyone agreed with how it was handled.
From $121 all the way down to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. I made accommodations solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. She's injured. I have no interest in that anymore.
One of the most striking parts of the entire incident is that Caitlin Clark wasn't even at the press conference. Due to her recent injury, she had already withdrawn from the All-Star game and wasn't present to defend herself or her team. Yet somehow, her name kept coming up. It's a pattern that has followed Clark throughout her short WNBA career, being pulled into controversies, accused of not doing enough, or simply used as a scapegoat. And this time, it was her absence from a private player meeting that became the focal point of public criticism. But while some players used her name to stir tension, Caitlin once again chose silence. She didn't respond with pettiness or shade. She let the storm pass because she knew her actions would speak louder than any press conference quote ever could.
People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121, okay. You want it for 100? Oh no, okay. I guess I gotta lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay, I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it to 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends, and they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league.
What many people forget is that Sabrina Ionescu was originally drafted to Team Clark before Caitlin had to withdraw due to injury. That connection adds another layer to her reaction during the press conference. When Plum started criticizing Clark's team, it wasn't just an offhand comment, it felt personal. Sabrina's eye roll wasn't just frustration, it was disappointment in a teammate. She had every reason to stay silent, to avoid conflict, to smile and nod for the cameras, but she didn't. In that moment, Sabrina showed where her loyalty stood, with professionalism, with unity, and perhaps most importantly, with Caitlin Clark. Her reaction was subtle, but powerful, and in doing so, she became the quiet hero of a press conference that could have completely unraveled the league's image. What started as a minor dust-up quickly turned into national conversation. NBA veterans like Stacey King, known for his time with Michael Jordan, publicly called out the WNBA for letting internal issues overshadow progress. Fans chimed in, journalists weighed in, even former league execs began asking why players couldn't see the bigger picture. When respected voices outside the WNBA start commenting on press conference etiquette, you know something's gone off the rails. The message was clear. This wasn't just about Clark. It was about how the league handles its stars, its image, and its future. And the more outside eyes started watching, the more players like Kelsey Plum looked out of sync with what the moment was supposed to be. While the debate raged on, a sobering statistic started making rounds. Ticket prices for the All-Star game dropped by more than 50% after Clark announced she wouldn't play. That wasn't just coincidence, it was a wake-up call. Despite all the slogans, all the shirts, all the messaging about equality and value, the cold, hard reality is that Caitlin Clark is the engine behind the league's current success. She's not just a good player, she's a phenomenon. Her games sell out, her jerseys fly off shelves, and when she's missing, the numbers take a hit. That kind of economic proof doesn't care about politics, popularity, or press conference drama. It tells the story loud and clear. Since entering the league, Clark has shattered viewership records, led merchandise sales, and transformed previously overlooked games into must-watch events. Her impact stretches beyond the court. Networks are giving primetime slots to WNBA games. Brands are investing. Cities are hosting sellouts. And it all ties back to one player. That doesn't mean others aren't talented or worthy, but it does mean that without Clark, the league wouldn't be where it is today. So when players wear shirts demanding better pay while simultaneously taking jabs at her, it creates a contradiction too big to ignore. How can you ask for more when you're tearing down the person making more possible? The deeper tragedy of this incident isn't just about one player being called out. It's about the league missing the chance to unite in a moment that could have defined progress. Instead, that opportunity was buried under finger-pointing and bitterness. The "pay us what you owe us" protest should have been a shared cry for justice. Instead, it became a fragmented message, twisted by ego and rivalry. The optics were brutal. What started as a protest turned into a spectacle, and fans were left questioning what the league really stands for. If your most famous faces can't hold the line in public, what does that say about the future behind the scenes? While Clark has taken the brunt of criticism all season, she's no longer alone. Sophie Cunningham, a player known for her grit and physical style, has become a surprising ally. Since joining the Indiana Fever, Sophie has absorbed much of the contact that used to land squarely on Clark. And not just on the court, off it too. Her unapologetic energy and refusal to back down have made her a target, but also a shield. Together, they represent a new kind of leadership, one that doesn't ask for respect but earns it by standing tall under pressure. And yet the league still struggles to protect them. Refereeing in the WNBA has come under heavy scrutiny. Fans have watched as Clark gets battered night after night, often with no whistle. Meanwhile, her opponents get foul calls for the lightest contact. The inconsistencies aren't just frustrating, they're dangerous. A league that doesn't protect its stars risks losing them. And the favoritism doesn't stop at the officials. Even media narratives tend to paint Clark as privileged, ignoring the physical and emotional toll she takes each game. This isn't about playing favorites, it's about fairness. And right now, fairness is nowhere to be found. Beneath the surface of this drama lies a deeper cultural conflict. Caitlin Clark represents a shift, a player whose appeal cuts across generations, fan bases, and demographics. But instead of celebrating that reach, some peers seem threatened by it. This jealousy isn't just personal, it's a business disaster. Sponsors don't want division. They want stories, excitement, and marketable stars. Every time internal drama spills into public view, the league looks less like a professional organization and more like a fractured locker room. The WNBA has a choice to make: embrace the opportunity or let it slip away. What makes this saga even more tragic is that Clark hasn't fought back. Despite being shoved, criticized, mocked, and now called out in absentia, she has never once retaliated publicly. No social media rants, no passive-aggressive interviews, just basketball. Her silence is louder than any speech, and for a league that desperately needs stars who lead with grace, Clark has been that model. Yet she's met with silence from those who should be defending her and hostility from those who should be standing beside her. This is what it means to carry a league and be punished for it. Mainstream sports coverage hasn't helped either. Too often, commentators focus on the spectacle, not the substance. They highlight the drama but ignore the damage. They amplify the shade but skip the context. And in doing so, they reinforce a toxic narrative. That internal conflict is more interesting than collective success. But fans see through it. They see who shows up, who delivers, and who elevates the sport. And increasingly, they're aligning themselves with players like Clark and Sabrina, athletes who lead by example, not by controversy. Perhaps the most important voice in this conversation isn't the players or the press, it's the fans. And their response has been overwhelming. From buying Clark's jerseys to flooding social media with support, they've made it clear who they believe in. The backlash against Plum's comment wasn't just noise, it was a signal. Fans are tired of the pettiness. They want greatness. They want storylines that inspire, not divide. And most importantly, they want a league that supports its biggest star instead of pushing her to the edge. With Clark sidelined, the All-Star game lost more than just a player. It lost momentum. It lost magic. And it lost a moment to truly show the world what the WNBA could be. Instead of focusing on talent and teamwork, the headlines became about infighting. Ticket prices dropped, viewer interest dipped, and all of it could have been avoided with a little self-awareness. Instead, the moment that was supposed to celebrate the league became a glaring spotlight on its internal dysfunction. In the end, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about what her journey reveals. That the WNBA has a golden opportunity in front of it, a once-in-a-generation talent, a national spotlight, and the chance to bring women's basketball to new heights. But instead of rallying around that opportunity, the league keeps getting in its own way. The drama, the jealousy, the inconsistent treatment, it all adds up to a culture that could collapse under its own weight if it doesn't change soon. Caitlin Clark deserves better. Not because she's perfect, not because she's untouchable, but because she's earned it. With her play, her poise, and her professionalism, she's carried the league on her back while others threw stones. And yet, she remains focused on the game, on her teammates, and on giving fans a reason to care. The WNBA stands at a crossroads. Will it embrace the momentum or squander it? The answer might just determine the future of the sport. If you believe in rising above the noise, in standing with players who elevate the game, then comment below CC and Sabi, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment that matters. Because this story, it's far from over.